Right, it's been a while. I'm going to be using these. Not the most suitable type of plug, but I don't know what else to get. And again, as I've said many times, as long as things are functional, I'm not too bothered how they look. These are not going to be put into the baseboard panel, they're just going to be loosely plugged. So I prepared all these as per usual. I've got a load of heat shrink. I've got a little baby crude drawing, which is basically that. And just going to have a go at soldering it. I brought this, which is just a simple 12 watt 0.5mm tip iron, and so hopefully I should be able to get in nice and, you know, that's the idea anyway. Never done this before, so is it going to end up a big mess? We shall find out. One end I've done less than the other. So, put the heat sleeve on. Maybe it's about midway. That's a long one to start with, that's no good. Let's have a go, let's have a go. I've hardly ever used this ever, so it might actually finally have a use. Next one is black. That's got it. Same drill, put the heat shrink on. Okay, so that's two of them. Now I'm going to finish doing the rest. I'm not going to bother showing you because it'll just get boring. So, you'll see me in a bit. Okay, so there we have it. And one side is mirrored. There's 2 pins spare, in case I need them for later. So, now it's just a case of fitting these in. I'm going to go and test it. Back in a mo. Right, so there's quite a bit done since you've seen it last. I've just installed its connectors. Rather than doing it, like I said, nice and neat, it's just loose, like this. So you can just get your hands in, plug it, unplug it. I've already tried it a few times, it's fine. I'm just going for simple, you know, that's it. So you got the board joins, happy days. Then that'll get routed to there. And with those chop blocks, everything's going to get routed into it. Then after that, the next stage will be to then build the next part, which will be the extension plus the control panel, and then all that can get routed into that with another set of connectors. Right, just show you what we've got. there's still a point motor to go here. That'll be the other one I mentioned before, the Hornby one. Been using staples for cable management. I find them quick and easy. It looks a mess, but it kind of makes sense to me. All of this so far pretty much is in my head, so if it doesn't work out, I'm going to have a job sorting it out, but I'm pretty confident it will be. Because when I did these points, as you know, I'll test them on the way. And all I've been doing really is putting these station buzz wire, outside track buzz wire, inside track buzz wire. These ones, this needs power from the track or the buzz wire, so it doesn't matter as long as it touches either. You've good. So the dropper wire, so like here for instance, that's a dropper wire. While it touches there, that's also a dropper wire, and it touches the buzz, so it's all connected. Should be pretty easy to sort out. The only thing is, these ones here, ISFs, what does it stand for? Insulated switch feed, basically, so you've got a switch. They'll have to be done differently. But most of it's done. There's nothing really to show you. That's why I've not made a video for a long time, because I've just been doing this bit by bit. I've been very busy with work and all the rest of it. But hopefully you can see it is coming along. So yeah, it's exactly the same as it was before on the top. Need the 2 tracks here and the 2 tracks there, and then should be good. I have made a change in my head though, because of this edge being so close for the tunnel mouth. I've decided, instead of the brake scene going from this point here straight across the line, which is where the board joint is, I'm going to have it go from there down 3 foot and then curve here and go up there. And that way I can have the tunnel mouth here and the tunnel mouth there where it was planned to be anyway. The brake scene can go there nice and smooth. Then I can at least have some scenic build up here. That's the plan. So we'll see in a bit. Right, so we've got the inside track working. Bearing in mind you have board joins here, so I'm happy with that. The outside track I've not tested yet, because this line here needs like a insulated, what did I call it? I keep forgetting the name. Insulated switch feed, that's it. That's what I decided to name it. But I'm going to show you underneath the board, and you'll see. Still got some more testing to do. When I did this inside lane, I had to change one wire to get this frog to work, but I expect that all you got to do is switch them across if the polarity is wrong, and that's it. It usually fixes it. So I'll show you the underside of the board and try and explain some bits. I think we are 90 to 95% done in terms of wiring the whole main boards before the control panel and extension for the Scenics. I'll briefly try and explain it. Well, I don't know if you're going to understand it or not, because you know it's difficult. But what's going to go on is all this lot is going to be joined up to a small connector, like the little one I did there that I explained to you about. That would be a bigger connector, or maybe 2 of them, and that will then join into the board sort of somewhere here. Okay. There's 2 actual circuits going on. You have the track circuits, so technically there's 4, because I'm keeping the track buzzes separate. Again, for DC, not really necessary. I'm just doing it to get my mind in the mindset of using buzz wires, but it's fine. It's good. And with DCC, then you can just join them together later on. So the other circuit is for the auxiliaries. In this case, it's AC 16 volt for the points, and that's what the blue wire is all about, which is a common return for the points. So to try and explain that, if you start with this point, you see the blues touching it, so it goes to the chop block, or terminal, whatever you want to call it. So many different names for it. into here, which goes to this point, and then loops there, which also touches this point, which loops there, that also touches this point. It will go to this point that I've not fitted yet, because that's the type one, and then again loops round to that point, loops round to that point, again same, and it goes down to this one, keep going down through the connector, okay, to that point, and then again it's touching that point also, so again whoop, whoop, and then eventually from probably here it's just going to go into there, and that's it. Quite simple. All the white wires, they are power to the actual points, so for instance like here, again this white one and that white one, they're both technically red wires if you want to look at it that way, or brown wires, but because of polarity can switch, I'm just using the same colour. And again, if I want to switch things over, you just swap them around here, and that normally solves it. Similar sort of thing, although they have to be separate, so I've numbered it. This is going to be the first one that's not fitted, this will be the second one, so I'm numbering it as you look at the points from there, as it comes out, that will be 1 and 2. So similarly, you flip it, 1 and 2. Trying to keep the same orientation just to avoid confusion. So this will be, that's the first one, this will be the second point I'm putting in, so that one should be number 3, right, which will be there, and you see I've labelled it P2, that's point number 2, or turnout number 2, or switch number 2, however you want to call it, and third wire and the fourth wire, and that's how I'm doing this. P6, that's a double, same as P11, because with these they've all joined up the opposite way to here, so you need to put 2 wires, and that should serve it, because when the power comes out into this, that will throw the points, but the power will also be going to that point, although it's switched over, so it should throw the point the opposite way for the crossover. Tried it before, it worked, so on the bottom one, which I haven't tried yet, it should work. Again, it's a station track, the outside track, the inside track. That's kind of about it. The yellow ones, these are the ISFs, insulated switch feeds, so I'm keeping them a different colour. So if you imagine the control panel being here, the power will come out of it, okay, through the little connector, go through this, the power then go straight to that rail, okay. When I flip the switch on the control panel on and off, the return is via the normal track circuit. So again, I'm following the principle I did on my little test board, and it should be fine. Just tested the inside lane. All I had to do was I had to change those 2 wires, the black and the red there, to make that frog work, as I mentioned earlier. So that's where we're at. So far I'm quite pleased. I would say the wiring for the board's, like I said, 90–95% done now. It's just a case of installing that point there. Laying 2 more tracks, a few more droppers, 2 more isolated switch feeds, and a few more white wires. And that's about it. So we're up to 34 actual connections so far, so we need either a big connector or a couple of small ones. I can always add some more here, which I might do for other auxiliaries, because like I said, these auxiliaries, they're working on 16 volt AC. Some things you buy need to have DC, so I would have again a different circuit, but you can put it through the same connector as long as you wire it properly. Right, that's the update for now, and you'll see me in a bit. Oh, I couldn't resist. I wanted to get my Duchess out. I'm checking the outside line, obviously. Now this lane here, whoop, all around there to there, is on an isolator, so at the moment it's not working. Right, but for test purposes, I can just bridge the gap and cheat. Like that. So we got it going. It's quite tight. Again, I'll now have to bridge the gap on the other side. this join here, it wasn't quite as high, but it's need to do something about that. It's still going over it, but obviously it's not desirable. Right, I shall leave it there. Ain't it nice? See ya.